was the best compliment ever. I love Betty White so much. Oh my gosh. Hi, hello. How's everyone doing? Good. That's great. So happy it's Pride. It's good times. I celebrated first day of Pride by going to Woody's. It's always fun. And I went to Woody's and I made out with this guy. And he was this like very slick, very suave Blockbuster employee. And so nice. And after we were done making out, he grabs my crotch and he's like, "You're a horny comedian, aren't you?" I'm like, okay. Awkward. Okay. So I had to return the favor, so I was like, "Oh my god, you have a hard free rewards one-night rental package." That's what you have. That's what you have, totally. I work as an usher at the Al Green Theater on Spadina and Bloor, which is a lot of fun. I casually, and it's fun. But it sometimes can be unbearable because like I usher a lot of like children's events, which is not cool, and children are weird. And one time, at one children's event I was ushering, I had to give out free stuffed animals afterwards, and had to give out like little dogs and like little giraffes and like little pink unicorns also. And I had like this little boy and his mom, and they come up to me, and the little boy's like, Mommy, I want the pink unicorn. Can I have the pink unicorn? I want it so badly. Please, please, please. And the mom's like, No, Daniel, no, you are not a girl. Those are meant for girls, and if you pick one up, you're going to get it. And the mom turns around and starts talking to one of the other moms. And then I'm just like, "Hey, kid, come over here. Come over here, kid. All right? Take whatever you want, okay? Fuck your mom. Tell your mom she looks like she shops at Reitman's. Tell her I said that, okay? Tell her I said that. That scares me. Like, homophobia still in 2011 scares me. Like, I don't get mad pretty often. Like, I smile a lot, but sometimes behind the smile is a fucking pissed off motherfucker, you know? And I just get mad at homophobia, and, you know, that scares me. Anything that ends in sports bar and grill scares me. And just sports bars and grills should just, you know, be abolished because they're just rooms full of hate, all of them, and I hate them. And I don't like, and fag is not a great word. I hate that word. It's not a good word. I don't like it. It's not good. And I'm trying to take that word and turn it into like a positive acronym, you know? So if somebody's like, "Oh my god, you're a fag," I'm like, "Yeah, I am a fag. I'm a fucking amazing guy, all right? That's what I am." "Oh, you want to call me a faggot?" "Yeah, I'm a faggot. Fucking amazing gay guy of Toronto. All right?" Yeah! So, personalize that shit. That's what I do. So I choose to look like this, and I'm okay with that. And I choose to look like this. And I have this Rock of Ages look, and I'm okay with it. And but I realized after like 5 years of living in Toronto, I have a lot of doppelgangers. For instance, I was on the streetcar going home once, and I had this guy come up and sit beside me. And I was already on the streetcar for like 20 minutes. And this guy comes up, sits beside me, and he's like, "Hey, how'd you get on the streetcar so fast?" And I'm like, "I've been on the streetcar for 20 minutes. I don't know what you're talking about." And he's just like, "Oh, well, there was a guy at my stop that looks just like you, exactly like you, just like you." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Then, like, he gets up and walks away. And then, like, 20 minutes later, he comes back and he's like, "Hey, I'm about to get off the streetcar. But before I do, I found the guy that looks like you. This is the guy right here. I grabbed him with my arm, with his arm, my hand, right here. This is him." And we look at each other. We look nothing alike at all. The only thing we had in common was, like, toques and beards. That's all. And he's like, "Overall, to me, you guys look alike. But if you guys looked at each other, you probably noticed some minor differences." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do notice some minor differences. Like, for one thing, that guy's on meth. And I'm high on life. So that's different." I have an open heart. I don't judge. I don't judge a lot of people. You know what? I have an open mind. I'll tell you a little bit of a tidbit. I went on a date like a year ago, 2 dates actually, with this guy who was much older than me. I'm 22, and he was 47, and which is totally cool. It's totally fine. I know he could have been my dad, but it's all right. But he had a nipple ring, so I guess he could have been like my cool dad, you know. And that's always fun. But I recently went on a date with this guy who used to be a male prostitute. He was an ex-male prostitute, and now he wants to be a paramedic. I'm like, okay, cool. I think that's so fantastic that when people want to change their lives around, I think that's so cool. So we went on a date. He was very charming, and then he invited me back to his place, and he's like, I just moved in. Everything is just so messy right now. I'm like, that's fine. That's totally fine. And then we get into his apartment, and he's just like, I really need to clean my apartment. I won't be comfortable with myself unless I clean my apartment. I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. But for the last hour of our date, I literally sat on his couch and watched him clean his apartment for an hour in silence. And I had to leave. I gave him a shitty tip, but I left. And it wasn't worth it. And I don't judge. I try not to judge. I have this friend who goes on Craigslist and gets hooked up via Craigslist, and I'm like, which I think is a little dirty, but I don't judge. And it's I tried it once. I tried doing it once, and I did it wrong. Because when you reply to a guy, you're supposed to send a picture of your torso or your penis. But whenever I would reply to a guy, I would send him a photo of my face or a headshot. That's what I would send him. And just a headshot, nothing else. And in the message, I would just be like, hey, ready for anything, and then my face like that. It was so much fun. Guys, I've been Marco Bernardi. You guys have been lovely. Have a great night. Let's bring up Topher.